the IRS is a kinder, gentler agency now, so they don't take your house or your car or close down your business as much, but it still does happen.
Hello, I'm Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member here at the Neal Group. I am sitting here today with Jon Neal, owner and founder of the Neal Group. Jon has been in practice for over 40 years. And we today are going to talk about, in the dog days of summer, talk about a little bit about tax rules that can cost you big if you ignore them. So first, let's start out, Jon, with what happens if you ignore the IRS or state notices that come in the mail.
If you ignore the notices from either the IRS or state, put it bluntly, nothing good happens.
That's true. That's very true.
And that's why it's so important to open the envelopes, or at least bring them in, to us at the Neal Group so that we can look at them.
Right, and help alleviate some of your fears. So what are the biggest myths about owing taxes? I mean, Jon, can you really lose your house? Can you go to jail for not paying taxes? Can you have your wages garnished?
Yeah, I don't know that I would call them myths. They're very rare instances where you can lose your house, go to jail, but it has happened. Mm-hmm. The IRS is a kinder, gentler agency now, so they don't take your house or your car or close down your business as much, but it still does happen.
Right. You're right. They have become kinder and gentler just because they've had bad press, and they just want to be sure that they are still working with taxpayers on a kind basis. What about the state?
The state, especially here in Wisconsin, can be very aggressive. They typically, as I tell people when they come in, they aren't going to take your house. They aren't going to throw you in jail. They want your money. And they can't get your money if you're sitting in jail.
Very true. They cannot do that.
But the state of Wisconsin also has a smaller population to work with, so they can be very aggressive in collecting. They can refuse to renew a professional license, like a nurse or a teacher. They put what are called tax warrants out, which become part of your credit report. They're public record. They publish your name as a deadbeat on the internet. So there's lots of stuff that they can do.
They also like to charge a lot of interest on any amounts owed. Yeah. What was the last rate? Like it's over 12%?
It's 18%.
18%. It's like a credit.
But if you have a refund coming, they only give you 9%.
Right. So in Wisconsin, you don't want to mess around. What types of taxes can get you into real trouble if they're not paid?
The ones that will haunt, the types of taxes that will haunt you forever are payroll taxes, sales tax, and unemployment tax. Those are considered trust fund taxes, meaning you're collecting them on behalf of the government, and the government wants you to pay them over. So they cannot be discharged in bankruptcy. They will last forever. IRS has a collection statute of limitations of 10 years. Wisconsin, in their infinite wisdom, has a 20-year collection period.
So, for an example, I just dealt with a client of ours who owed sales tax they were filing their sales tax returns, but then they owed sales tax and they had been notified more than once, and the state finally threatened to take away their license
Yep.
and shut them down.
Yep.
So there was a few phone calls made, and we got a few extra weeks for them, and they were able to come up with the funds. And now, no, do not put off paying those sales tax, because, as you mentioned, you're collecting it for the government. It doesn't belong to you, it belongs to the government.
Yeah. And both the state and the IRS will come and pay you a personal visit
Oh, yes.
if it's serious enough.
Oh, yes, that did happen. A revenue
Yeah.
agent did show up at the business.
Yeah.
So, can you get help if you haven't filed your taxes for years? And I'm going with income taxes here.
Yeah. Here at the Neal Group, we've helped a lot of people file back taxes.
So, give me an example of why people wait to file their taxes, or what you've seen in the last, 40 years. Like, why don't people file their taxes? I told my friends, and they're like, what? People don't file their taxes? I'm like, they don't.
Yeah. Some of the people that don't file because they hate the government.
That's one reason.
They don't believe that the income tax is constitutional. They just don't want to pay. I've had some people, story goes way back, but I got a call from our church with a parishioner who had a heart attack and a stroke and was trying to get into a nursing home. And they went over to the Social Security office to file for Medicare and Medicaid, and the person there said, I'm sorry, we don't have a record of you filing a tax return since 1957. Fortunately, we didn't have to file 40 years worth of tax returns. The IRS doesn't want to look at 40 years of tax returns, so they'll look at the last 6 years. Other instances where people don't file, they did their tax return and they owed money. And they couldn't pay the IRS, so they didn't file the return. Then next year comes along and they said, well, I didn't file last year, the IRS is going to fine me if I file this year. So it just pyramids. And soon, yeah, you're looking at, I haven't filed a tax return since 2018.
Right. I know that we've also had clients where, let's say they've been sick, they've gone through a cancer episode, or they've had, you mentioned a heart attack or stroke, but also going through a traumatic period in their life, like a divorce or something. So it's not always that they owe.
Right.
Because a lot of times if they come in and they said, I just haven't filed, if you can lose out on refunds, because you only get 3 years to file with the IRS to collect on a refund.
Yes.
Or with the state 4 years. So if you just let it go, we've had clients who lose out on money, and
Yeah.
they will not pay.
Sometimes it's over $10,000
Right.
per year that they lose out on.
Right. So, there are options to file in the last 3 years, especially if you're going to get a refund. So don't wait, I guess
Right.
is what we're trying to say. So for you, how do you handle people's emotions, or if they're embarrassed regarding their situation related to taxes when they come into the Neal Group?
Here at the Neal Group, we try and put them at ease. We tell them up front that we're non-judgmental. We're here to help you. A lot of times we have a box of Kleenex on the desk because there are tears shed. But again, it's, life happens. We understand you're here now. That's great. Let's see what we can do to get the stress off of you and get you back living again.
Right. So what I'd like to close with then is, if you are behind in filing your taxes, please, we would love to help you out. Come see John or myself here at the office if you want to do it via Zoom call. If you can't get out of your home, just give us a phone call at 414-325-2040 or visit us at nealgroup.net. We'd love to help you out, and we have answers for you.